When Prince William discovers his mother, Princess Diana's private letters are about to be auctioned, he vows to protect her sacred memory. Through each heartfelt word, he uncovers the loneliness, love, and sacrifice she hid behind the royal curtain. But when a traitor in the palace is exposed, William faces a heart-wrenching choice: stay silent to shield the monarchy's reputation, or speak out for his mother's dignity. Will he reclaim the letters and find a path to honor Diana's legacy? An emotional journey begins where love and loyalty are tested to the core. Rain drizzles over London's cobblestone streets, casting a thin veil of mist across ancient rooftops. In his study at Clarence House, Prince William sits in silence, his eyes fixed on the laptop screen. The faint blue glow illuminates his sharp but weary features. A cup of Earl Grey tea sits cold on the desk, its steam long gone. The news hits like a sharp, unexpected blade. A brief email from his private secretary includes a link to a prestigious auction house's website. A collection of Princess Diana's private letters set to be auctioned next month at Sotheby's. William reads the headline again and again, as if staring long enough might make it vanish. But the words remain cold and ruthless, threatening to invade his most sacred memories. He clicks the link, and an image appears: a stack of aged letters, their paper yellowed, bearing his mother's familiar slanted handwriting. A few short excerpts are quoted on the site's simple yet deeply emotional confessions. Violet, sometimes I feel like a bird trapped in a golden cage. William stops reading. His chest tightens, as if someone is squeezing his heart. Those words were not meant for the public, not for curious onlookers, tabloid reporters, or treasure hunters willing to pay millions for a piece of his mother's soul. He stands and walks to the window. Through the fogged glass, he gazes at the small garden below, where rain-soaked roses glisten. How did those letters end up in someone else's hands? Who betrayed her? The questions spiral in his mind unanswered. One truth is clear: he cannot let his mother's private thoughts be exposed, dissected by those who never knew her. He returns to the desk and opens a hidden drawer. Inside is a small wooden box carved with roses, a gift from his mother for his 10th birthday. He touches it, feeling the rough grain under his fingertips. Inside are keepsakes: a photo of him and Harry riding horses with her, a postcard she sent from Paris, and a scrap of paper with his childish scrawl: "Mom, you're the best." These belong to him alone, untouchable. And those letters, they must be kept safe too, as a piece of her soul. William takes a deep breath, steadying the tremor in his chest. He knows he can't act impulsively. The royal family doesn't forgive rash decisions. But this time, he's not acting for the crown. He's acting for his mother, the woman who gave everything so he and Harry could grow up with love, even at the cost of her own happiness. He picks up the phone and dials his most trusted aide. James, his voice is low and resolute. "I need every detail about this auction. Who's behind it, who owns the letters, and how they were leaked. Leave nothing out." On the other end, James hesitates. "Sir, this could get complicated. If the royal family is implicated, there could be unintended consequences." William's grip tightens, nails digging into his palm. "I don't care about the consequences. I want the truth." Outside, the rain falls, steadily quiet, as if whispering a promise. "Keep going, William, for your mother." Violet Collison's small house is tucked away in a narrow lane in Wiltshire, where blooming lavender fills the air with a sweet scent under the pale afternoon sun. William steps out of his Range Rover, carefully pulling his cap low to shield his face. He wants no prying eyes to recognize him. The sound of the car fades, leaving only the soft chirping of sparrows in the trees. Violet opens the door, her petite frame still spry, despite her 70-plus years. Her eyes flash with surprise, then soften, as if she's been expecting this moment for a long time. "Sir," she says with a slight bow, her voice carrying the warmth of her decades serving the Spencer family. "I didn't expect you." William offers a faint smile, masking his tension. "Mrs. Violet, I need to talk about my mother." She leads him into a cozy living room where the faint aroma of chamomile tea mingles with the scent of aged wood. A worn armchair sits by the fireplace next to a tea table holding a few family photos. William spots a small picture, his mother in a simple cotton dress, beaming beside Violet at Althorpe, the Spencer family estate. The image sends a pang through his chest. You've heard about the auction, Violet says, cutting to the chase. She sits her thin hands clasped tightly. I tried to keep them safe, sir, but some of the letters, they were taken. I don't know how. William frowns, keeping his voice steady. What letters of my mother's do you still have? Violet hesitates, her gaze sweeping the room as if seeking permission from an unseen presence. Then she stands and walks to an old wooden cabinet in the corner. From a locked drawer, she retrieves a small tarnished tin box, its surface polished with care. Inside is a bundle of letters tied with a faded blue ribbon. These are what she sent me, Violet says, her voice trembling. The princess wrote when she needed someone to listen. Not the royals, not the press. Just me. William takes the box, feeling its weight as if it holds an entire world he's never known. He wants to ask more, but Violet's eyes, resolute yet sorrowful, silence him. You should read them, she says. She'd want you to understand. That night in a discreet hotel room, William sits alone, the desk lamp casting shadows on the white walls. He opens the first letter, his mother's slanted handwriting vivid as if she's still there writing by candlelight. Violet, today was the wedding. The whole world was watching, but I've never felt so alone. I don't know if I belong in this place, this glass cage they call the royal family. Each word cuts like a knife, sharp and painful. William feels his mother's confusion, her fear in those early days at the palace, where every glance judged, every move was measured. He thought he knew her, the strong woman who smiled for the cameras. But these letters reveal a different Diana, a young girl lost in Buckingham's cold corridors, yearning for an embrace no one offered. He reads on each letter, unveiling pieces of his mother he never saw. One describes her first meeting with the Queen, her tone anxious. I dropped the teaspoon, Violet. She just smiled, but I knew I'd failed. Another, written late at night, bears her deep loneliness. Charles isn't here. I sit alone, wondering if anyone in this palace truly sees me. William folds the letter, his hands trembling slightly. He looks out the window where city lights flicker in the dark. For the first time, he realizes his mother wasn't just the woman who held him close, singing lullabies. She was a person with wounds he was never allowed to see. And now, through these words, he begins a journey to understand not just her, but himself. It's late when William returns to Clarence House, Violet's tin box resting quietly on the passenger seat. London's night is still, with only the golden glow of streetlights sliding across the car's windows, like fragmented memories. He grips the steering wheel, trying to shake the heaviness in his chest. His mother's letters, though only partially read, feel like a key unlocking a door he's never dared to touch. In his familiar study, William sets the tin box on the desk, the lamp casting faint streaks of light across its lid. He opens it, his fingers brushing the faded blue ribbon, his heart hesitant. Part of him wants to keep these letters sealed forever, just as he's tried to bury the pain of losing her. But a deeper part urges him forward. He needs to know. He needs to understand. The first letter he pulls out is written on delicate patterned paper, his mother's elegant script tinged with a quiet despair. Violet, I've tried, but Charles is never really here. He's off with his books, his hunts, and her. I don't know how much longer I can endure. William pauses, his breath heavy. Her. He knows who his mother means, though the name is never written. Camilla. The name slices through his childhood, a vague shadow he sensed even as a boy. He reads on each line, exposing the cracks in his parents' marriage. One letter recounts an evening at Highgrove, where Diana sat alone in the dining room, waiting for Charles to return from a trip. I wore the dress he liked, Violet, but he didn't notice. He just talked about the new shrubs in the garden. His mother's words carry no blame, only a quiet sadness, as if she'd long accepted her fate. William folds the letter, his gaze lost in the void. Childhood memories flood back, vivid as an old film. He recalls days when his mother took him and Harry to amusement parks, her baseball cap low, her laughter bright as they slid down water slides together. Those simple, warm moments were her effort to give them a normal childhood, something the palace never allowed. He remembers her tight hugs after each outing, whispering, "You boys are my everything." But now, through these letters, he sees the truth behind her. Smiles were nights she cried alone in Kensington's cold rooms. Another letter pierces his heart. They say I don't fit in, Violet. I'm too emotional, too different. but I just want to love and be loved. What's wrong with that? William is stunned. He recalls the palace whispers, the sidelong glances from staff when his mother showed up in sneakers or hugged AIDS patients without hesitation. She was called different because she dared to be real to love freely in a world bound by protocol and power. He stands and walks to the window. Through the glass, he sees his reflection, a man burdened by royal duty, but also a son facing a painful truth. Behind the monarchy's glamour lie unhealed fractures, a broken marriage, a woman isolated, and two boys raised amid the wreckage. He remembers overhearing his parents' arguments through closed-doors nights when Harry cried and he had to soothe him. Back then, he told himself everything would be okay. Now he knows nothing was. William turns back, his eyes falling on the remaining letters. He's not ready to read them all, not ready to face the full weight of his mother's pain. But he knows he can't stop. These words aren't just her confessions, they're her legacy, her way of speaking to him, even after leaving this world. He closes his eyes, her image vivid, her radiant smile, her gentle hand ruffling his hair. "Mom," he whispers, his voice breaking in the darkness. "I'm sorry I didn't understand you." The dim glow of a crystal chandelier in the St. James's Palace office casts shadows across William's tense face. Before him lies a thin stack of documents delivered by James after days of discreet investigation. Emails, notes, and transaction records point to one unmistakable name: Sir Edward Langley, a longtime royal advisor who once bowed to his mother with a polished smile. Langley, the one who secretly handed Diana's letters to a private collector, paving the way for the scandalous auction. William's fists clenched, nails digging into his palms. His chest burns as if his anger could ignite at any moment. He can't wait any longer. He needs answers, needs to look into the eyes of the man who betrayed his mother. Without warning, he requests a private meeting with Langley right here in this office, where royal secrets are often buried. Langley enters, his tailored gray suit failing to mask the unease in his eyes. "Sir," he says with a bow, his voice steady but lacking its usual confidence. "What do you wish to discuss?" William doesn't mince words. He slides the documents across the desk, his voice icy. "You sold my mother's letters." "Why?" Langley flinches, but quickly composes himself. He sits, hands clasped, his gaze sweeping the room as if weighing each word. "Sir, I didn't sell them. I arranged for them to be brought to light for the good of the royal family." The good William snaps, his voice sharper than intended. "You call exposing my mother's private thoughts to treasure hunters good? You betrayed her." Langley sighs, his face weary but unrepentant. "Princess Diana, forgive me, was an icon, but she was also a risk. Those letters, if they fell into the press's hands unchecked, could damage the monarchy's image. I selected the least controversial ones and entrusted them to a reliable collector. It wasn't about money, sir. It was about protecting our reputation." William feels his blood boil. "Your reputation," he says, his voice trembling with restraint. "Not my mother's. You think she wanted this? To be turned into a pawn in your political games?" Langley leans forward, his voice dropping to a warning. "Prince, I urge you to stay silent. If you go public with this, the press will tear apart not just the letters, but you, your family, and the entire monarchy. Do you want your mother's legacy stained by sensational headlines? Or do you want us to handle this quietly as the royal family always has?" William doesn't respond. He stands turning away, his eyes falling on a small portrait on the desk, his mother in a green silk dress, smiling beside him and Harry. Langley's words cut like a blade, cold and sharp, slicing into his loyalty. "This conversation is over," he says, his voice low but firm, and walks out, leaving Langley in heavy silence. Back at Clarence House, William locks himself in his study. The desk lamp casts a soft glow on Violet's tin box, where his mother's letters rest like fragments of her soul. He sits, his hands trembling as he touches the faded blue ribbon. Langley's warning echoes. "Stay silent or everything will collapse." But silence means letting his mother be misunderstood, letting men like Langley control her memory. Speaking out, exposing the betrayal, would drag the royal family into an internal war with his mother's legacy once again trampled by cheap headlines. He opens a letter seeking guidance from his mother. "Violet, sometimes I want to scream, but I know it won't change anything. I just try to live true to my heart for my boys." Her words are a beacon cutting through the fog in his mind. She fought not with loud confrontations, but with quiet love, quiet strength. William closes his eyes, her image vivid, her radiant smile, her gentle hand ruffling his hair. His chest feels torn in two, duty to the royal family, to his father, to the queen, and love for his mother who gave everything to give him a heart that feels. He realizes protecting her doesn't need to be loud. No public battles or accusations under the spotlight. He looks out the window where pale moonlight bathes the quiet garden. A clarity washes over him. Langley may have betrayed his mother, but William won't let him or anyone steal what she left behind. Not her reputation, not her memory, and certainly not her love. Sotheby's auction room hums with hushed murmurs from collectors and the soft rustle of papers from staff. William isn't there. He can't risk his face being seen, can't let the press catch even a whiff of his involvement. Instead, he entrusts James, his loyal aide, to quietly buy back every one of his mother's letters before they hit the auction block. Each letter, each yellowed page holding Diana's soul, is reclaimed at a cost far beyond money, measured in William's unwavering resolve. When James returns to Clarence House, he carries a small wooden box secured with an intricate silver lock. "They're all here, sir," he says, his voice low but tinged with relief. Not one leaked out. William nods, his hands trembling slightly as he takes the box. He says nothing, only retreats to his study, locking the door behind him. Under the gentle glow of the desk lamp, William opens the box. The letters lie neatly arranged like memories waiting to be touched. He feels their sanctity, not treasures to flaunt, but his mother's private legacy, which he swore to shield from public curiosity and tabloid sensationalism. He places them beside Violet's tin box, as if reuniting two halves of his mother's soul. That night, as London sleeps, William sits alone reading the final letters. His mother's handwriting remains graceful now, carrying a different strength, as if she found peace amid her storms. One letter written in her last days pierces his heart. "Violet, I don't know how much time I have left, but I'm not afraid anymore. I've loved, I've lived, and I've given my boys everything I have. If they ever understand, I only hope they live with open hearts as I tried to." Her words are a whisper across time, touching the depths of his soul. William reads on each letter, unveiling Diana's full heart, her loneliness in the palace, her fierce love for him and Harry, her silent sacrifices to shield them from her own wounds. One letter recalls a secret trip to a charity center just to show them the real world beyond the palace. "I want my boys to know love doesn't need a throne, Violet. It just needs a heart." William folds the last letter, his eyes blurred with tears he can't hold back. He's not just reading words, he feels his mother as if she's beside him, ruffling his hair like when he was a boy. For the first time, he understands it all. The pain she hid, the love she gave, the courage to be true in a world of constraints. These letters aren't just memories, they're the fire she left to light his path. He stands and walks to the window, gazing at the quiet garden under the moonlight. The future is a vast question. Will he become king, bearing the weight of the crown he doesn't know? But one thing is certain, he will live worthy of the love and values his mother nurtured compassion, honesty, and the courage to do right, no matter the world's judgment. William turns back, his eyes resting on the letters on the desk. They're his treasure, not for display, but to remind him of the woman who gave him everything. He smiles faintly, a smile both pained and serene. "Thank you, Mom," he whispers, his voice breaking in the dark. "I won't let you down." If you're moved by William's emotional journey and Princess Diana's heartfelt letters, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments below to share how this story touched you.